Tourism Pathshala, it will transform your dream into reality.
Good morning, my dear students. This is our previous year question paper analysis series. The first question, this question is based on January 2025. The area is research and statistics. Under the section of research and statistics analytical tool, they have provided the question which of the following analysis tool will be used? Which of the following analysis tool will be used to understand and discriminate the relationship between variable when the dependent variable is categorical and categorical in nature, and independent variable are metric in nature. They have told in this question, they have told the dependent variable is the categorical and independent variable in metric in nature. The correct option, they have given the four options. Number one, correlation analysis. Number two, discriminant analysis. Number three, factor analysis. Number four, conjoint analysis. Under this section, we have to choose what is the correct option. The correct option is the discriminant analysis. The question is why discriminant analysis? Because they have given the dependent variables the categorical means, as the example, male, female, yes or no. Independent variables in the matrix means the numerical, age, income, score like this. Now the evaluation of the option. The first statement used when both variables are metric measure the strength of linear relationship. If they told the both variables are metric, means numerical, it measures the strength of relationship. This in the case of discriminant analysis, the correlation in the case of correlation analysis, the both variables are matched. In the case of discriminant analysis, dependent variable is categorical and independent variable are matched. Purpose to predict the group membership. What is the purpose to predict the group membership? To identify variable that discriminate between the group and classification model for the dependent variable. In the case of factor analysis is used for the data reduction to identify the underlying dimension or factors, to identify the unobservable factor among the variables. In the case of factor analysis. In the case of conjoint analysis, used in marketing research and consumer papers. So correct option is the discriminant analysis. Now we're going to so the next question is related with the factor analysis. This is the discriminant analysis, and next question we are going to understand the factor analysis. Our question is arrange the following step. Arrange the following steps in correct sequence that should perform factor analysis. Performing factor analysis, following step we have to choose the correct sequence. They have given determine the number of factors, construct and correlation matrix, rotate the factors, determine the method of factor analysis and calculate the factor analysis. So what is the correct option? The correct sequence is DACE. B for construct correlation matrix, D for determine method, third step determine number of factor, fourth step rotate the factor, fifth step calculate the factor score. So what is the step one? The step one is the construct correlation matrix. This is the first step. Factor analysis. The factor analysis is based on the relationship between variable, and we begin by computing the correlation matrix to see how the variables are related. Why correlation matrix? It is the measure the strength of relationship between the variable, and values range from -1 to +1. It is the symmetric matrix. This is the symmetric matrix. Second step, determine the method of factor analysis. Under this section, we choose the extract method, principal component analysis, PCA, or common factor analysis, CFA. This defines how factor will be extracted from correlation matrix. The common method, PCA, data reduction, CFA, I have told you common factor analysis, model latent construct, ML, maximum likelihood, PAF, principal axis factoring. So these are the step 2 to determine the method of factor analysis. Now step 3, determine the number of factors. After extraction, decide how many factors to retain. That's why we used the eigenvalue should be greater than equal to 1 rule, or it's called the Kaiser criteria or script plot. Look for elbow point. This identifies the optimal number of underlying factors. Tools to decide factor, eigenvalue, script plot, parallel analysis, cumulative, percentage values. Now step 4. Step 4 is the based on rotate the factor. Rotation improves interpretability of factor, make factor, loading clearance, and common rotation method. Rotational type based on orthogonal and oblique. Orthogonal means varimax or obliques promax. And step 5, calculate the factor score. Final step, and compute the score for each observation. Use the further analysis, regression, and clustering. So memory thing, how can you remember the step and sequence of the fact? How can you remember the step and sequence of the factor analysis? The memory trick is C for correlation, M for method, N for number, R for rotation, S for score. Then these are the sequence and very important topic of correlation. Construct correlation method, determine method, determine number of factors, rotate the factor, and calculate the factor. Now we are going to understand the comparative study between the correlation, discrimination analysis, factor analysis, and conjoint analysis. You see the correlation. The correlation analysis, the concept, measures the strength and direction. This is a very important strength and direction of relationship between the variable. That is the correlation. Correlation coefficient -1. Correlation coefficient -1, the perfect positive correlation. Correlation +1. +1 is a perfect positive correlation. When the -1, the perfect negative correlation. 0, no correlation. Correlation coefficient range -1 to +1. What is the formula of the correlation coefficient? COV bracket xy by delta x into delta y. What is the type of correlation relation analysis? The simple correlation, multiple correlation, partial correlation. Uses of correlation identify the relationship, income versus expenditure, or basis for regression analysis. Note, does not imply the causation. This is very important. It is in relation to regression. So correlation does not imply the causation. Number 2, discriminant analysis. We already solved the discriminant analysis question. Now discriminant analysis, this question is based on the discriminant analysis. Now we already solved. So what is the discriminant analysis? Classify the observation into predefined group. In the case of discriminant analysis, we have to remember this is a classify the predefined group. Number 2, the type of discriminant, predictive and classification. Dependent variable. It is a very important point of discriminant analysis. The dependent variable is categorical. In the case of discriminant analysis, the independent variable are metric or numerical. Output discriminant function uses buyers versus non-buyers, credit risk, etc. Note the important role. The group must be known. In the case of discriminant analysis, group must be known. Number 3, factor analysis. Just now we solved the question of factor analysis. The steps of factor analysis. The factor analysis main concept is reduce variable into fewer underlying factor. The type is the data reduction. Variable should be matrix in many cases and output is the factors. Users find the latent variable, latent secret variable or hidden variable, unobservable factor that influence the observed data. That is the main purpose of the factor analysis. Number 4, conjoint analysis. The conjoint analysis, what is the concept of conjoint analysis? That determine the value of product attribute. Determine value of product attribute means qualities. Type, decision modeling, variable attributes and label, uses product design and market research. The important note, the simulates real decision model. Now this is the comparative study, statistical analysis tool. Correlation, main objective of correlation is relationship. Objective of discriminant analysis is classification. Objective of factor analysis is reduction. Objective of conjoint analysis is preference. Second point is the nature. The correlation, nature of correlation analysis is descriptive. Nature of discrimination analysis is predictive. Nature of factor analysis is exploratory. And nature of conjoint analysis is based on decision making. What is the output? In the case of correlation analysis, R value, I've got the output, the R value, the R, the formula, the R value. Like this is the R value, this is the formula of the R value. Next, in the case of discriminant analysis, output is a function. Case of factor analysis, output is the factor. In case of conjoint analysis, output is the issue. And this is the final trick, memory trick. How can you remember? Correlation analysis, connect. Discrimination analysis is divide. Factor analysis, find out the fear factor, reduce fears. Conjoint analysis, the choose. So these are the important comparative study between correlation, discrimination, and factor analysis. What is the objective of our study or preparation? Not only solve this question, my dear, we try to understand the data analysis, the background, which will help to find out these kinds of questions. Now we're going to the next question. Our next question is based on skewness. Bowley coefficient of skewness. The Bowley coefficient of skewness is based on mean, mode, quartile, standard deviation. They have given the option 4 option. The correct option is a quartile. Why it is a quartile? Explanation. The measures of skewness is based on quartile. In the case of Bowley coefficient, the based on quartile, not mean or standard deviation. It is specifically useful when data contain extreme value outliers. Data is the open-ended. Median and quartile are more reliable than mean. Median and quartile are more reliable than mean. So now what is the formula of Bowley skewness? Q3 plus Q1 minus 2 into Q2 by Q3 minus Q1. This is the Bowley skewness formula. Q1 is the first quartile, Q2 is the median, Q3 is the third quartile. Why other option is incorrect? Because mean is used in the Karl-Pearson skewness. Mode is also used the Karl-Pearson formula and standard deviation used with the mean of Pearson method. The case of Pauli coefficient skewness, the perfect option, the vertex. So final answer, Pauli coefficient skewness is the best one vertex. Now we move on our next question. This question is based on statistical term and explanation. They have given the parameter, construct, element, and eigenvalue. The four terms they have given, and these are the explanation. We have to choose what is the correct. In the case of A, parameter, the correct option 2 means objective, that purpose for and on which survey and inference are to be made. The case of parameter, a parameter is a numerical summary of population. What is parameter? The parameter is the numerical summary of population. Or means my population mean or variance. Parameter is truly the very important question. The parameter is truly value describing the entire population. It is fixed but usually unknown. In example, population mean mu1, population variance is the variance is sigma square. It is not calculated from sample but represent the whole population. In research, we estimate parameter using the statistics, that is called sample value. So A2 is the correct. The objective, that purpose for and on which survey inference are to be made. Second point, B, construct. A construct is an abstract concept. This is very important. As a case of intelligence, which is not directly observed. Construct is higher level of observation, of abstraction, higher level of abstraction. The key important area, person in a survey, a company in the business study, is stored in a customer satisfaction survey. Without element, no research data exists. The construct is related with the three, the survey description of fixed characteristics of member of the target population. Fixed characteristics means the attribute of the character. C. Option C, element 1. Element is a unit, maybe person or object, about which data is collected. An element is the basic unit of analysis. Example, person in a survey, a company in a business study, a store in a customer satisfaction survey. So it is considered person, company, store are considered as the element. Without element, no research data is exists. So in the case of element, option number 1, number of summary, numeric summary. Option number 1 is the correct numeric summary of an entire population. Next, eigenvalue. This eigenvalue is the eigenvalue, the correct option, the 4. They represent total variance explained by each factor. Eigenvalue is related with the factor analysis, represent total variance explained by each factor. So these are the perfect matching. Now we move on our next question. What is the next question? The next question is based on choose the correct statement from the following. They are given that the T distribution is symmetrical around the mean zero. I will search the T distribution statement is true or not. T distribution is used when the sample size is small and population standard deviation is unknown. The key property, it is a bell-shaped like normal distribution. It is perfectly symmetric around zero. So around 0. So this statement, T distribution is symmetrical around the mean 0, the correct option. Now see the next, check the second statement. A series for which coefficient of variance is greater is said to be less consistent. This statement is true or not? A series of greater coefficient variable variance is said to be less consistent. High coefficient variance, more variability. These are less consistent. They are given with a greater coefficient of variability needs to be less consistent. So this is the correct option. The CV formula, coefficient variance formula, CV equal to delta by x into 100. Low CV data point close more consistent. High CV data wide spread the less consistent. So option number B is the right. Regression coefficient are symmetric. This is wrong. Regression coefficient are not symmetric because the regression formula bxy x on y or byx y on x bxy equal to r into delta x sigma x by sigma y. Next important statement, the F distribution measures the ratio of variance with group to variance between group. This statement also not correct because the F distribution comes from ANOVA, analysis of variance. The F distribution formula is variance between the group by variance within the group. So A statement is true, B statement is true, C false, D false. The correct option number 4, A, B only is the correct. If you want to understand the detail about statistics and another chapters and another unit for your syllabus, you may follow my YouTube channel. If you want to take the guidance, private guidance or classes, you may contact me. Now we will move on the next question. Our next question is based on an itemized rating scale where endpoints are associated with bipolar adjective index is known as symmetric differential scale, Likert scale, staple scale, Q-short scale. I repeat again, an itemized rating scale where endpoints are associated with bipolar adjective index is known as. The correct option, symmetric differential scale. The explanation, the important phase is bipolar adjective level. This means the scale has two opposite adjectives at the end point, such as good, bad, strong, weak, happy, sad, like this. This is the scale. Symmetric differentiation scale developed by Osgood use the bipolar adjective at both ends and respond choose a positive between two opposite. Position, respond choose a position between two opposite. Second, the Likert scale. Likert scale measures agreement level. Example, strongly agree, strongly disagree, not based on bipolar objective. Staple scale use the single adjective in the center. Rated from +5 to -5. No bipolar endpoint. Q-short scale used for sorting item into categorical, not is mainly basically categorical, not itemized rating, Staple scale, Likert scale, symmetric scale, the correct option is, according to the statement, itemized rating scale, the correct option is the symmetric differential scale. So in the case of quick memory, case of bipolar, we have to remember two bipolar, two opposite object, two opposite adjective. This is the symmetric differentiation. So these are the important question of January 2025 research and statistics. And I also inform you, every class I inform you, if you want to take the private tuition, to take the PDF note, a lecture series, live classes, you may contact with me. So my dear student, Keep touch with this channel. If you have any queries, any doubt, you may contact me. Thank you.